record. All right, we're gonna have some fun. Don't worry, we'll have a good time here. All right,
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Hey, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you're at in the US and around the world. Welcome to Baseball Outside the Box. This is a show that loves to interview baseball's best coaching minds who love the challenge, the status quo. And I'm your host, Pete Caliendo. We are just coming off a great convention, the BC Minor Baseball 34th Annual Virtual Coaches Convention, 20 speakers. I was proud to be their host. It was a great time, great coaches, great presenters. We had over 200 coaches on the virtual event. If you want to check it out, go to www.bccoaches.ca, and you can still register and get all the videos on there, all the presentations. They are outstanding. Think about it, 20 or plus. So again, thank you to BC Minor Baseball, Vancouver, Canada, all my buddies there. I'll be going there pretty soon here for their 11th caravan that I'll be involved in. That is a coaches caravan all over Vancouver Island. We got over 3,000 people that come every city we attend, and we help educate players, coaches, and parents, and get them excited for the game of baseball. So they're doing a great job there. Keep it up, everybody, and hope to see you soon. Again, do us a favor, help us out, get the show out, social media. You're helping us a lot. We're in over 100 countries. We thank you for all that, to all our listeners. And let's not waste any time. There's a lot of announcements. We'll try to make, if we can, during the show. But right now, we are heading to Taiwan, the great and beautiful country of Taiwan, and one of the best baseball countries in the world. What great baseball. I've been there so many times. I love the people there and love the baseball, and I learned so much from them. And that's why we're going back there. We're going to talk to one of the coaches in Taiwan, Larry Lin from Taichung. I've been to Taichung, and another great city. Tell you quickly about Larry, and then we'll get started. He's got an MBA at Royal Roads University in Canada, did that online. He studied at California State University in Fullerton. He also played high school in California, South Pasadena High School, went to open tryouts with the Dodgers, tried that out, 2 years in college in California. And then he went back to Taiwan, where he served the military. I love that part, because not only, as you know, the Asian people are extremely disciplined. And now you put them in the military and they learn even more. And there's so much to learn from that. So let's not waste any time. Let's welcome my good friend from Taichung, Taiwan, Larry Lin. How you doing, buddy?
Hi, thank you, Peter. I'm doing great. Yeah.
At 10 a.m. Wednesday morning there, right?
Yeah, right.
And,
yeah, thanks for inviting me. To your show.
It's my pleasure. I love learning baseball from coaches in Taiwan. I know a lot of people there, a lot of coaches, and enjoy it. And I'm looking forward to this very much. So let's get rocking and rolling. Let's just, you obviously you played it, you're now coaching in Taiwan. You got your own academy, your own club. I watch a lot of your stuff on social media, a lot, especially on Facebook, great drills. What's great is you work with the young kids. We're going to talk about the young kids, but before we do, I want the folks to know even more. And I've had some people on Taiwan before, but I want them to even more know about the system at Taiwan and baseball. I mean, you look at the Little World Series, I think it was 17 years in a row they won, the Little League World Series, and they've got a lot of great players that come up there. Tell us a little bit about how the system is set up in Taiwan when it comes to baseball at the young levels.
Okay. Right now, most of the elementary schools has their own baseball teams. So they are willing to accept kids from age 8 to 12 who is interested to play for their school. So they have this particular program. So kids can allow to join to sign up this baseball program, and they practice every day from morning to afternoon.
Wow.
Yeah, every day, every single day. They spend a lot of times, even on weekends. Sometimes coaches are setting this practice section on Saturday. And it's majority practice. So I would say kids in elementary schools has already spent tremendous times to to improve themselves, to become a better baseball player.
Yeah. What's it look like, a daily schedule of a kid in school in Taiwan at that level? Like, how many hours do they study in school? Then how many hours do they practice around?
Okay. Some schools, they have the morning practice from 7 a.m.
Wow.
and maybe they spend 1.5 hours to do some simple drills, and then they go to class. And then for maybe a couple of hours later, they go back to their baseball coach, and they start to practice more until late afternoon. And then they routine these procedures every day.
Interesting. I have to believe that, these kids are in school and their coaches are educators. They're not volunteers. That makes a big difference when it comes to teaching the game of baseball and the skills.
Well, some of the coaches are retired baseball player from professional league, but some are not. Some coaches, they got the baseball training, and they got the certificates from our baseball associations. So they have this very well known knowledge teaching baseballs.
Yeah, that's a big difference because they're educated. They've played the game, but they also gone through certification, through classes, to be able to be a coach at that level. And I think that's a big difference. Does the education, do they suffer as far as education because they're doing baseball also?
Yeah, I would say yes. Yeah, because the kids spend majority of time on baseball practice, so they only get limited times doing their homework. Yeah, so some schools they ask a baseball coach to be part of this mentor. After the baseball practice, they have to spend a certain amount of time watching kids doing their homework before they leave the school.
Yeah, that's interesting. I like that. What folks on Facebook, if you got a question for Larry, Taiwan Baseball is what we're talking about. What a great country. Not only just country itself, but also baseball country. They've developed and produced a lot of players. They got a professional league there. I'm going to ask Larry about the professional league. I've seen it. I've been there. I've recruited players for the professional league before. And how about games? How does that work with the young kids? Do they play games on weekends between schools, or do they play during the week between schools, or how does that work?
Okay. Majority they play games during weekday. And sometimes they play in a city, in their own city. They have all the local school teams to compete each other. And some games play outside of the city, so they have to travel outside of town for a couple of days, stay overnight. Yeah, so it's like big leagues players when you go out the road and you have to stay in the hotel and then do some practice in the next day. So kids at this level, they not only they spend a lot of time in school practice, they also spend a lot of time playing when they go outside of town. Yeah.
Wow, we're talking about 8 to 12-year-olds, younger kids that are already getting ready like professional baseball. Larry, do you see over the years that you've been there, is there a burnout with young kids, or do these kids just enjoy it? It's part of their lifestyle. I know it's an honor. It's a culture there. Baseball's, the sport. But is there a little burnout as far as, they're starting too young and they're doing too much?
For my personal view, I say as for them, it's right now at this age, it's a little bit too much, Yeah. because they get this routine daily practice. So the body, their body I would say cannot take much this amount of work, versus and you also get jobs in school you have to take care of. So some kids they don't get enough sleep, to be honest. Yeah, some kids live very far from school. They have to get up early, very early, 5 a.m. to commute from their home to a school to be able to make the 7 a.m. practice. So so at this level, because I've been to in the States, and I see.
Hang on, Larry. I think we lost Larry for a second here. You there, Larry? Hang on, folks. We lost Larry. Let me see if he's going to come back. Larry, you there? Darn. Our apologies. Normally things work pretty good. Not sure what's happening. We are going all the way across to Taiwan. And Chris Francis, I see your question. If we get Larry back on, I will ask him. He may have to come back. So hang tight. We are still going to stay online. We're live. I'm going to see if Larry comes back in, and we'll continue with that question. Again, we are on. Here is Larry again. We're on with Larry Lin. Larry, got your audio there? Just need your audio on. That's all you need. You're on mute right now. Bottom left, bottom right, there you'd be a mute button there. There you go. Larry, you there?
Okay, yeah.
All right,
So
super.
sorry.
That's okay. Yeah. Don't worry. Hey, technology is great, but it happens. You were about to say that you in the US, when you were here, younger kids, you were doing something.
Okay, so when I was in the States, I saw the kids at this level, at the elementary level, and they don't get this kind of loading, to focus on the things they like.
Yeah.
They just do regular school work, and they get regular sleep, not like the kids in Taiwan. As I mentioned earlier, they have to get up at 5 a.m. to commute to school and start practice, and then doing school work, and then after that doing more baseball practice. So this is too much work.
Are there discussions among the leagues, among the federation, to reduce some of this work, or maybe practices and at the schools?
Actually, at this point, I don't see any changes,
No?
plans coming from the associations or schools. Yeah.
What about the emphasis? Practices. I mean, the Taiwanese players are so good at the fundamentals. It must be something you just do all the time. Fundamentals.
Yeah. Coaches actually, they also learn new drills from different ways, and so they pass on these drills to this youngster, and they do these drills every single day to improve themselves.
And folks, if you want to check out Larry Lin's Facebook page, just go to Larry Lin, Lin, last name, and check out all his drills. He does a lot of great drills with young kids, and he's very good with the kids. And as you know, when you're good with kids, it's a lot easier to work with some of the older players. Larry, what about an example, number of practices throughout the year compared to number of games? Are there more practices than games?
Yes. Right now, I would say, because for the last 2 years, due to the pandemic issues, the games has been reduced. Even baseball practices had also been reduced. So right now, all the schools are starting baseball practice every day. And so I see games have been rescheduled, and now more and more games are coming up throughout the years.
You know, Chris on Facebook, a good friend of ours, has a question. He says, what are things they do for the mental game? You know, baseball is a game really in the mind. And when you make mistakes, you know, you have to deal with them and you have to learn how to come back. How do you guys teach breathing properly, or is there something you do to train the young kids on the mental side of the game?
Yes, some coaches I see they had after game meeting, and they gave some mental instructions. Let's say they gave different situations and ask kids, what would you respond if you are in this kind of situation, and then they let the kids to answer, and they listen. So throughout this practice, the kids start building up their confidence.
Do they allow young kids, like when you're doing a drill, do they allow them to ask why we're doing this? Or is it you do the drill and that's it? You know, you respect the coach?
Yeah. For school coaches and even myself, when we do every drills, we always tell the kids the purpose of this drill beforehand. So kids would know if they do this properly, they can improve themselves.
Excellent. Larry, your academy, you got a lot of young kids. What's a day at the club, a practice look like?
Okay. For my club, we only practice on Saturday. So during weekday,
how long?
I have two clubs. One group is from age 4 to 7.
Wow.
And then second group is from 8 to 12.
And how many hours do they practice on that Saturday?
For 4 to 7, they practice 2 hours, and the other group, they practice 3 hours.
And what does a typical practice look like?
Okay, for the age 4 to 7 group, we just do a very simple drills, because at this level, the kids they can only understand few of the base. How should I say this? When they do every drill you teach, they cannot fully do it properly.
Absolutely.
So you have to do it very slow, and then use a very simple word to let them understand. So at that level, we sometimes use game to let them know that you know, some drills can be learned from the game they play. Yeah. But all the coaches has to you know, to still to teach them the proper way of fielding the ball or hitting the ball right. Yeah. But at this level, kids they learn very slowly.
What kind of baseballs are you using? Do they use regular bats at that age?
No, we use you know, it's a
Softer ball?
Yeah, rubber ball. Yeah, rubber ball. Yeah, rubber ball.
And what about the bats?
There's a aluminum bat for small kids. It's very short. It's a 25-inch bat and very lightweight bat.
What's it look like when you first start? Is there a warm up that you do? What kind of warm up do you do with the little guys?
Yeah. We do a simple stretch, and then next we do some dynamic warm up. Then after that we take a short break. Then to let the kids take some water. Then we come back to do more fundamental drills. Yeah, like building drills.
Before I get to the fundamental drills, do the young kids in Taiwan, they don't get a chance to play other sports?
There are many sports clubs, yeah, and so
the parents they play other sports.
Yes.
So because I asked that because then if they were only doing baseball, then you'd have to do a lot of work with their feet, movements to make sure that they're athletically getting developed.
Yeah. That's why also we teach them during dynamics. So we have some agility tools to set up, and then we teach them to do some footwork, and to improve their speed, not only speed and their body movement.
Yeah, and that's a good age to do it. Speaking of body movement, Chris even asked a great question here. Pitching and hitting or fundamental skills, do you stick to a particular fundamental that you teach, or do you allow their body to kind of naturally do it itself?
We at first we teach them fundamental way to do the swing or to pitch properly. And then during the process, as the time goes on, and we will see each individual how they do. And some kids they pick up and learn very quickly, and they have very smooth throwing. They have a very smooth fielding the ball, and so that as a coach, we are very grateful and see this kind of outcome.
Sure. And speaking about hitting, you look at the Japanese, they've studied a lot from the art of Akendo, the swordsmanship. They use their hands a lot. Do the Taiwanese train a lot with the hands, or is it starting with the lower body and then working up?
In my club, we don't do that way, but in school teams, they do this kind of handwork a lot. Yeah.
What do you do in your club?
I start from bottom, from make sure the kids have a proper stand, make sure their body is balanced, and then we start from bottom and then up, and then later we teach them how to grip the ball, how to grip the bat properly, and then how to use the waist, and how to move your front leg during the hitting process, like that.
Excellent. How about pitching? What are some of the specifics that you personally concentrate when it comes to throwing or pitching?
At the young age level, we only teach them the proper way to throw the baseball. Make sure that their elbow not too low. So because when kids don't have this baseball experience before, first time they walk in to my club, I see a lot of kids, they throw the baseball with their very low elbow, like that. So we always tell them to bring up their elbow up and throw the baseball. Yeah.
Do a lot of kids in Taiwan on one team, do you have many pitchers on the team, or is it like sometimes in the US we have 2 or 3 and that's all we use sometimes? Or do you have more pitchers on the team?
Yeah, I have more than five pictures on my club. You know, for another group from age 8 to 12. Sometimes when we go to the game, we set a limit for each kid to pitch in a game to protect their elbow. So I have to train at least 5 pitchers to be able to meet that requirement.
That's a good point. Now in Taiwan, do most of the leagues have a pitch limit, or excuse me, pitch limit as far as number of pitches they can throw? So that way you have to develop more pitchers.
Yes, there's requirements, not only for the club and also for outside of the teams that in school, they have this requirements.
When did that start?
Oh, this restriction already implements so many years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. And so, I mean, we talked to Larry Lin. Works with a lot of young, in their 8 to 12-year-old young school baseballs in school. So they study there, they go to school, so it's interesting. Larry, let me, Chris has another question. I'm going to take it. He had a question about hitting. Do they teach, or do you, or in general, do they teach staying through the ball with palm up at extension, and then after you're done hitting the ball?
Sorry, Pete. Can you repeat that question, because the connection?
Yeah, that's okay. That I saw the internet went up and down a little bit. Do they teach to go through the baseball, right? Through the ball with the palm, making sure one palm is up, and then after you hit the ball, then you roll over. What was that? Got me? Larry, did you lose me?
Yeah, well, I could not catch the last.
That's okay. You know what? Explain in hitting. Just explain when you hit the ball what the motion looks like.
Okay.
The arms. What do they do?
Okay. So most coaches teach kids when they do the swing process, make sure the knob is parallel. It's parallel to the ground.
Right.
Okay. So when the bat is ready to go to the strike zone, then like you said, palm up, palm down.
Right.
Yeah, that's the term we use. Yeah, palm up, palm down,
and stay through the ball as long as possible.
Right, like that. Yeah.
Excellent.
Because some coaches, even myself, we study more some coaching material. Actually, those material are from the States. So we have this very advanced knowledge, and to teach the kids using the most latest baseball knowledge coming from the States. So make sure.
Yeah, no, it's good. And then let me ask you, Larry, as far as the pitchers, after they're done pitching, what do they do to recover? To help them recover better? Is there exercises? Do you use bands, or what do you do?
Okay. Like I tell my pitchers after the game, they have to take a certain amount of recess, depending on the number of pitches. So I follow this requirements based on what I learned from the coaching program from the USA coaching program. Yeah.
So you do some kind of bands? Do they run after they pitch? Do they do sprints?
Yes, I do that. Yeah.
All that. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, let me do this. Let's jump. I like to jump to the next level. High school, right? Is high school the next level?
Yes.
What does the high school system look like?
High school systems actually not much too much difference from elementary level. They also have morning practice sections, and then they go to class for certain hours. Then they go back to their team and to do more baseball practice.
How many games you think they play in high school in Taiwan?
I don't have exact numbers. I would say 20, 30.
When is the season?
Now.
Starts now and ends.
Ends until late August.
Late August. And so if they're playing 30, 35 games, that means they're practicing a lot.
Yes.
Interesting. And then we get to the next level, could be university and professional, right?
Yes. Yeah. At the university level, their season is also now. So until late August, September, depending on
how about the pro league? What's that look like? How many teams and where are they located?
Okay. Right now we have five teams, but there's going to be number six teams join later. Actually, last week they already submit their application. They want to be part of this professional league. So they will start the season next year from minor league level, because for the new team you cannot start with major league seasons in the first year. Okay, so there are six teams, yeah, and one team is called Fubang Guardians. The team is located in Taipei. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And then second team is called Brother Elephant. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They're actually the headquarters is in Taipei, but their main stadium is in Taichung, which you have been to. Yeah.
Yeah, many times. And the other thing I was going to ask you about that was some of the teams play in the same stadium.
Yes.
Right? They don't have their own stadium. Not all the teams have their own stadium.
No. All the stadiums in Taiwan are built by government. So the professional teams they pick which stadium they like to be their home court. So they sponsor. They sign a long-term agreement with city government. Okay, so for example, from now on until 10 years later, during this period of time, I'm the one who can use this stadium, and I will manage to take care of this stadium from hardware, to maintain the stadium improperly.
And the other area of all this is the fans. Now you've been to games in the States, and I've been to games in Taiwan. Big difference when it comes to the fans. Explain how the fans get excited.
Yeah. It's very, very, very unique. If especially for a foreigner coming to Taiwanese baseball games, you see not only fans get excited all the time. They have this cheering tools. Yeah. And also they have cheerleaders. yeah, dancing in the stands. Yeah. So from very beginning until the end of the game, you don't see quiet moment. it's
Yeah,
the game is always noisy.
it's exciting from start to finish.
Yeah. Compared to games in the States, yeah, fans are more enjoying watching the games. Unless there's a certain excitement moment that all the fans in the stands were jumping and cheering for the team. But sometimes they just sitting in a chair and drinking the beers, talking with the friends, with friends, yeah, enjoying the game.
Yeah, in Taiwan, I think they pay attention a little bit more to the game because they're constantly, on every pitch, every at bat. They're always excited. Hey, folks, check out Larry Lin on Facebook. Again, Larry Lin, Lin, on Facebook. Check him out. Yeah, watch. You'll see a lot of his drills up there. Larry, you got a Twitter page also? Twitter?
Twitter?
Yeah,
no, I don't have that Twitter account.
That's okay. That was Chris asking if you had Twitter, but he'll check out your Facebook page. The other thing I wanted to ask you was during the season in the pro league, they don't play a game every day, do they?
No, they don't. Because they have to actually every series they play with the same team for three days, and then they travel to different city to play with another team.
Okay. So will they take a break during the week?
Yeah, maybe one or 2 days. They get the chance to break to take a break. Yeah.
I want to give a shout out to our friend Michael Johnston in Kosovo Baseball Federation. Michael and I were together at the WBSC European meetings, and we hung out. We had a great time. Great coach, great person, great human being, man, and a great friend. Listen, tell me this. What do you, as we come to we're closing soon here, but tell me, in Taiwan, if you were to pick why Taiwan baseball is so good at the game at all levels, what would be some of the reasons?
Mm-hmm. I think the players are very dedicated and love the games they play, and so I see from very young age, the ball players are very disciplined, and they always listen to the coaches. One thing I see good thing about youth baseball in Taiwan is that whenever they have this meeting, they always take off their cap and listen to the coaches, and after that, and they play the games. After the game finished, they take a bow. They take a bow like I think in Japan they do this also.
Mm-hmm.
They take a bow to the field and to show the respect of the field.
Yeah, they're taught at a very young age, as soon as they start playing. And I would imagine it's something that happens at home. They're taught the respect of the other team, the field, the umpires, the opponents, their equipment. They're taught to respect that all the time.
Yes. Yeah. Even for my club, I also teach that to those youngsters. Yeah, to take care of their own equipment and to respect their equipment. And after the class, they take a bow to their parents, showing their appreciation, bringing them to play the baseball games. They take a bow to coaches. They take a bow to their equipment and field.
And finally, this is my final thoughts. I know Chris had mentioned the mental game. Well, I got to believe that when you talk about respect, when you're being taught at a young age to respect the game, to respect the umpires, respect the field, respect your equipment, to train the fundamentals, to practice more than they play. When you add all this up, that really helps the mental game, because it helps you deal with the failures a lot better than if you're not taught some of these things. So I think Taiwan Baseball is doing some great things, been doing some great things for a long time. And I think they're going to always be there at the top when it comes to one of the best countries developing players in the game of baseball.
Right, right.
All right, Larry, listen, I know 10 a.m. you probably got practice going on soon, or what do you got happening now? 10 a.m. in the morning there.
Yeah, actually later I will plan out the work schedules for this weekend's meeting. So every day, every week, I will make different training plan to make sure that kids get in different drills, so they can improve faster and faster.
You know what? And that's a good point for coaches. Not only are they getting better at it, you're changing the drills up. It's also a lot more fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, than doing the same thing over and over and over again. Even though they're used to that, at least now when you start to mix it up, kids are more excited about coming to practice.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, man. This has been great. Larry, I appreciate your time, my friend. You have a great practice today, and I wish you the best. I'll check you out. I'll be checking you out on Facebook too.
Okay. Thank you, Pete. Yeah.
All right.
My
All
pleasure.
right, friends. That is Larry Lin from Taiwan, Taishan. Great place. Been there, geez, probably in Taiwan maybe 20 times. Unbelievable baseball, unbelievable coaches, unbelievable people. First, I want to thank Larry for being on the show. Second, our producer, Brian Kroc with the Lineup Media Group. Thank you. And of course, thank you to everybody on Facebook, social media for all the questions and being with us on a Tuesday night, Wednesday morning in Taiwan. Also, thanks everybody in the US and around the world for always listening to the show. Do us a favor, keep spreading the show. Check out baseballoutsidethebox.com audio, ESPN Honolulu. Thank you for covering our podcast every time. And also, we're on YouTube, Twitter, Baseball Out. Follow us. Any questions, email me, caliendo19@gmail. Hey, everybody, stay safe, be healthy. God bless you. And we'll see you on the next show.
Okay.